and welcome to GBN Live. I'm your host, Tracy Hansen. I'm with the Saybrook chapter of GBN. What's up, Saybrook? So before we get started today, I would like to thank our sponsor, as always, Grand Strand Law Group. They have offices in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, and you can reach them at 843-492-5422. Also at grandstrandlawgroup.com. They want to be your trusted advisor, and they're fantastic. So I highly recommend you give them a call. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave that in the comments section. You may have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook. That'll grant us permission to show your comments and any questions that you have for our guest today. And so you can leave those right there, and we'll be sure to get to them. Today's guest is Samantha Thoe. She is with the Greenville Networking Success Chapter of GBN and with the Curated Click. So we're going to hear all about that when we return. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hi, Samantha. Thank you for joining us today. With us today, as I said, is Samantha Thoe, and she's with Curated Click. But before we get into that, I would like to learn a little bit about you personally. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, a little about your family, anything you want to share?
Well, Tracy, thank you for having me. I am originally from Florida. I moved to South Carolina probably about 10 years ago to go to school at Clemson. I'm a classically trained mechanical engineer, and I now do marketing, so strategic websites, brands, and systems for small business. I'm married and have a plethora of furry children. No two-legged ones at this point, but it definitely keeps me busy.
Yeah. Now, are those furry children, are those dogs or cats?
Both.
Okay. Todd Courtner says, hi, Samantha.
Hi, Todd.
Oh, awesome. So where in Florida did you live? I was in Florida before we moved here, too. I was in Orlando.
I was actually in Melbourne.
Oh, okay. My grandparents
Whereas we
live there.
actually called it Melboring, because if you didn't have money, you didn't have anything to do.
Right. I kind of know that area. They were actually in Palm Bay. So, yeah. So, all right. Before we get started and really getting into the meat and bones of it, tell us a little bit about the Curated Click and the company, what it is, what do you do for people?
So Curated Click got started back in 2020, just before the pandemic hit. It started because I had a friend who was like, hey, you're good at things. Will you build me a website? I had always been kind of interested in building websites, but I had never really done it. And so I built an e-commerce website for a friend and just really, really enjoyed it. So I started doing just strategic websites because I got to kind of pull in that strategy and design from mechanical engineering. And it started with just websites. It's kind of expanded over time to meet the needs of small businesses, which is helping them build their brand identity. So where we start from, then the website to help them sell their services or products, and then also helping them develop optimized and streamlined systems so that they can serve their clients consistently on the back end of that website.
Oh, that's awesome. So, I mean, it is important, to have these things in place as a small business, especially these days, because everybody goes online. So,
I lost half of your audio. Can you
repeat
that question?
Okay, yeah. So I was just going over, that these days everybody's online. Everybody starts looking online, and so why do you feel that it's so important that we do build an online presence?
So when it comes to having a business, a major part of it is serving your clients. And if your clients don't know that you're there, you can't serve them. With everybody's habit now to pick up their phone and kind of do a Google search or go to Facebook or any of those typical platforms that they're already on, if you're not showing up, they never know you exist. You can't help people that don't know you're not there. So having an online presence is of paramount importance, because even if someone says, hey, you should go check out Mike's Tile. Well, when they get a referral, the first thing they're going to do is look up Mike's Tile online. And if Mike's Tile doesn't exist online, they're going to be like, well, I'll go find someone else.
That's 100% true. 100% true. I do it myself. If they don't have a website and I can't do that investigation and looking into them, I kind of move on.
Yeah.
So, what type of help can you offer to people who are struggling with their social media? What can you do to kind of get the ball rolling for them?
So oftentimes I feel like people's biggest issue with social media is consistency. And don't get me wrong,
Yes.
social media is great. I personally don't really enjoy social media from a personal standpoint, but from a business standpoint, if you don't have an insane marketing budget, which most of us don't, social media is a great place to build recognition for your business. And the way that you do that is being consistent. There
Mm-hmm.
are people that are looking at your content that aren't engaging with your content. So even when it looks like you only got 2 likes or whatever it is, you have to be consistent and show up consistently to grow an audience. Now, I know there's a million gurus out there who will say, oh, you can grow an audience of 10,000 people in some astronomically short amount of time. But for those of us who don't have the thousands of dollars to invest in that guru's training program, the main key here is being consistent. And when you're consistent on social and you're consistent in the message across all of the platforms that you're on, that builds brand trust, which is what we're really all looking for. We want to trust the people we're doing business with, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And when you bring up consistency, it's harder than it sounds, or maybe it's not so hard, but it is. I even find with myself that just being consistent with it is where I run into trouble. You get distracted and then you haven't posted or this, that. So having somebody there kind of keeping that going is
Yeah.
huge for sure.
I think one of the things that helps a lot of smaller businesses is to think about it as batching your social media. So what I mean is, if you want to be consistent on social platforms that give you the ability to schedule your posts, Facebook
Hmm.
is one of those, right? On your business page or in any groups that you're managing, you can schedule a post. So I'll take, or have clients take, one afternoon a month, typically sometime around the 15th, and plan out, so write and create whatever imagery for the next month's 4 or 8 consistent posts, and go ahead and schedule them. You
That's a
dedicate
great idea.
an afternoon to it, and you've at least got something that posts every week in the following month.
Right.
It
I
kind of
agree.
helps relieve that pressure of, oh crap, I've got to post something today. What do I do? Um, and another kind of quick and easy post for social is, you are an expert in your field, right? People pay you to do the thing that they don't know how to do. So you can always look at it as, what did I learn today? And use that as a quick video like, hey, super cool. I was on this job and found out this today. Or here's a quick tip about how to fix this or how to recognize it, that kind of thing. The what I learned today is a quick and easy one to post when you got nothing else. No, ma'am. You got to love technology. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I know. So I'm not sure if I'm coming through. Give me a thumbs up if you do end up hearing me.
I can hear you, but it's really quiet.
Okay, she can hear me, but it's really quiet. Well, we'll just keep going and see if I think we might be popping back in. So, well, you mentioned a little bit about like building a brand and brand trust and identity. And I think that's also something that, like as a realtor myself, I didn't really know about that when I first started, but it's something that you really need to do. I'm sure there are also some pitfalls to that as well. Is there anything you can tell us that maybe we should avoid when building a brand, or something maybe we should make sure we do as well?
Sure. A lot of small businesses, especially in today's climate where it's, oh, build your brand, do all the things. Um, a lot of people will say, go ahead and invest a lot of money initially in your brand. I'm on the other end of that. Get a logo that's done relatively cheaply, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to change that logo in a year after you've worked with clients. You've kind of refined the clients that you want to work with, how your business serves them. So at the very beginning, do things within the budget that you've got. I mean, granted, if you've got a startup and you've got $100,000 budget, then great. Yes, go ahead, spend the money on a full brand identity design. But if you're trying to scrape things together because life has changed and you're now doing your business on your own, spend the money on getting a logo that'll work for now.
Right.
And colors and typography and a website that'll work for now. It's never a bad thing to 6 months down the road go, oh, my business is doing so well, I can now afford to upgrade this.
Right. But just get something started is what you're saying, and
Yeah.
consistent with it.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would definitely, there's so many facets to brand identity. So when I say brand identity, I'm talking about things like the visual assets, that's colors, typography, logos, that kind of thing. But there's also a verbal identity, how you sound when you talk. You say things differently than someone else who's in your industry, and that's part of your verbal identity. So making sure that your posts and your website and your blog content and all of those things actually sounds like it's coming from you. That's
That's interesting. Yeah, that's great advice, because you don't really think of it that way. You think of logos and colors and fonts and, that kind of thing. But your voice and your message, really needs to shine through as well. So that's really good advice.
yeah. And taking some of those like constant or typical phrases that you use and writing them down in kind of like a verbal guide really helps when you decide to hire a social media manager or a content writer, or hiring out a copywriter to write some content for you. If you can give them a list of like typical phrases you use or words that you avoid, it helps them make it sound more like you right off the bat.
Right.
So hopefully that's helpful. I know that kind of went a little everywhere, but
No, I love it. That's great, though, because these are really important things that people in a small business, I mean, you get so wrapped up in trying to build the business, you kind of don't spend, or at least I know for me, I didn't spend a lot of time on brand or what I was posting on social media. All those things were more of an afterthought. And it's hard to do it all yourself when you're also building a business.
yes.
So having someone like you who can guide you through it, and ultimately then you don't waste as much time because you know your business. I don't know branding and marketing as much as, real estate. So it's a great,
Yeah.
it's a great service
Heck
for
yeah.
sure. So after the break, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and stay with us. We're going to talk a little bit more about websites and small business, and we will be right back with Samantha Thoe. So stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Justice Ann. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today.
All right, well, welcome back to GBN Live. Again, I'm your host, Tracy Hansen. I am here with Samantha Thoe. Before we get back into it, I would like to thank our sponsor again, Grand Strand Law Group. You can reach them at 843-492-5422, also at grandstrandlawgroup.com. They have offices in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach for convenience, but they'll service anywhere. So fantastic office. So I highly recommend you giving them a call. If you have any questions for our guest today, or would just like to say hi, please type your comments in your comment section. And again, you may have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook to allow those to appear, but we will get to those as well. So thank you again, Samantha, for being here. I want to talk a little bit about websites. So I know you support having a website for a small business, but can you tell me really why? Like, what is it that, we know that it's good to have that presence, but, why is this good, especially for small business?
So when it comes to having a website, just like any other digital platform that you're on, it is a representation of your business in a digital space that everybody can access. But why does having a website matter over just having social profiles? Well, your website, you own.
Right.
If your web host decides to shut down business, you can take your website and host it somewhere else. When it comes to a social media platform, you don't have that option. When your business page or your group gets hacked and taken from you, because I've heard the horror stories, I can't count how many times, that someone has a whole business, their whole audience, their whole everything is on a social platform, and they got hacked, and it takes forever to get it back if they get it back. Just like a lot of marketers now say, you don't own your Facebook group, but you own your email list. The same thing is applicable for your website. You don't own your Facebook group, but you own your website. It is your digital storefront that you can take anywhere you like.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point too, because a lot of people do forego having the website because they just go the social media route. Oh, I have my Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, everything, and I'm good to go. But that's a really good point for having a website. So on a website, what type of information or pages do you think somebody should have? What should they include on that website, to give information to the consumer?
So it doesn't necessarily matter how many pages you have on your website, but essentially the information that you want to give on your website is who you serve, what you do, and how you serve them best, and preferably a way for them to contact you.
Right.
That can be well done in a single one-page website. It could also take 25 or 30 pages, depending on how intricate or complex your product or service offering is. I've seen it done well both ways. But essentially, when someone lands on your website, their initial concern is, can you solve their problem? They want to know if you understand the problem that they have, if you understand where they are and where they want to go, And then at that point, once they've realized that you understand, then they're looking at how you can help them. So I have a lot of people that say, oh, well, I want my name, my business, my everything in the header. That first, I'm going to land here, top of the website. But at the same time, when you're targeting an audience that everybody else is targeting, and you're the one that says, I understand your problem, not just by saying, I understand your problem, but by using the words to describe their problem that they would use, it kind of sends this signal, oh, they really do get it.
Right.
Right? It's like having that conversation with somebody and they're able to finish your sentence before you do. And you're like, they get it.
They get it. Right.
That's where you want your website to start. They get it. Because at that point, you're already building a form of relationship. After you tell them that you get it, then they care about you. But until they get to that point, they don't care about you.
Right. It's true.
Oh,
it's true. So if somebody had, they have their website and everything, but they want to start maybe targeting a different clientele, a different business niche, is that something you could help them with as well?
Definitely. When it comes to targeting a new business niche, that's going to look like us kind of doing a little research as to what that client wants, desires, and how you can serve them best. And then creating content on your website, either to kind of change over what you already have or to add to it. But yeah, we can definitely help target a new niche for a small business, for sure.
Gotcha. What about CRMs? Do you work also with CRMs? And can you explain to our viewers exactly what that is? I mean, as a realtor, I throw that CRM, out, but many people might not realize, what that is or what it can do for their small business.
I think the easiest way I've found to describe it is after you go to a website and you fill out a contact form, or when someone comes to your website and they fill out your contact form, what happens? Does it just go into an email box somewhere and sit there and hope that you get to it amidst all of your other clients? Right. Because if that's where it's at, maybe you need a CRM, a customer relationship management software, something that integrates directly with the back end of your website so that those leads get dropped into a space where they don't get lost.
Right.
And CRMs have ability now, especially with automation and now with AI and all of the things, to help you manage that intake process so that it doesn't have to be you manually doing everything all the time.
Right.
So I help businesses select their CRM or their project management tools, and then help them define what the process in those systems needs to look like, develop the templates, and set it up for them. And then a lot of times something that's set up is specific to a business. So I'll create business and company specific tutorials on how everything's set up so that they can kind of jump in and get to using it right off the bat. And so that it's kind of an off-the-shelf product that's been customized for your business.
Right. Because within those CRMs, you can use it. You can use all the tools, or you can use just some of the tools, for the management of that, because they all offer so many different things. But it really is the level at which you what you need it for.
Right.
And
so
to find someone.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so someone like you who knows the different, because there are so many CRMs, who knows different ones, you can really help a business, I'm sure, pick what's right for them.
That's the biggest part. I can give you the best system in the world, but if you only use 5% of it,
right,
it doesn't matter how good it is. You're only using 5%, and therefore the rest of it is waste. So we find a system that meets the needs that you have, and maybe some of the needs that you foresee needing, right? Because we're focused on growing a business, right? So we want to make sure that it meets our current need and maybe a little bit more. But I apologize. Excuse me.
That's okay. Bless you.
But yeah, so when we're talking about selecting a software system, we want to look at what you need it to do, what you want it to do, and then find the best match that we can without having to completely custom design it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I agree because like you said, sometimes people aren't going to use the platform for what it can really be used for,
Right.
so it just ends up sitting. Um, all right, so right now we're going to do a quick little thing that we call rapid fire, and it's just to kind of break away from what we were talking about, help
Okay.
us get to know you a little better, and just kind of have a little fun. So I'm going to ask you just a couple quick questions, and actually 10, and you can give me your your quick answer. Okay. All right. So, what was your first job?
Babysitting.
Me too. Okay, are you a night owl or an early bird?
Definitely a night owl. However, my wife is an early bird, so that works out not so great all the time.
Wait, not. I find I used to be a night owl, but now as I get older, I'm an early bird.
Yeah.
Now we've talked about this a little bit before, dog or cat person or both.
Ooh, I'm definitely both.
Yeah. Well, that's a good answer since you have both. You don't want to cause any, rifts.
Right. Yes. I don't want any cats planning to murder me in my sleep, all the
Yeah,
things.
so they'd be like, "What'd she say?" Dark or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate, please.
Your favorite color?
Blue.
And do you have a favorite word or phrase? It's a family show now.
It depends.
Depends on the situation, right?
Actually, it depends is most often the phrase that I'm using when people ask me questions. But another favorite would be permission is promotion. What you permit, you promote.
I like that. Very good. Do you have a favorite movie?
Ooh, no, I don't. It changes every month. I'm certain.
You like movies? Are you a movie person?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. What about a favorite song or type of song?
Lately I've been grooving on a lot of like Pink and Taylor Swift. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, Taylor Swift," but
It's okay. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and we're all about her right now.
I happened to see her like documentary on Netflix called Miss Americana. I don't know if you've seen it, but it kind of made me think about her a little bit differently. And since then, I've kind of been grooving on her music.
I
Yeah.
know. I have to say, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
And I'm admitting that right here on live Facebook. All right. Now, do you have a favorite vacation spot?
Ooh, the beach. It's not a specific beach, just a beach.
The beach. Yep. Gotcha. And what about a favorite mobile app?
Is it weird if I say ClickUp? It's a project management tool. I'm just that weirdo. Like,
I just love it. Sounds like I use it too. So there you go.
He knows the magic. He knows.
I don't know if I'd be judging weirdness by that because Todd uses it too, but All right, very good. Well, thank you for playing along and being a good sport about that. Let's get back to the little thing right now. I have another question for you before we start wrapping things up. But if there is one thing that a business should do right now that can make a difference in their online presence, what would it be? Something we could go home and do.
Something actionable that you can take from today. If the headline or the main headline of your website does not speak directly to your ideal client for their problem, using Google keywords. Everybody's all about SEO, right? Make sure that whatever your top keyword is and your client's problem is in your headline.
Okay.
That'll help both from an SEO standpoint and from connecting with your ideal client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great advice. We can get in touch with Samantha at thecuratedclick.com. Also, her number is 864-650-1628. and I'm sure she'd be able to help you with your small business immensely. It sounds fantastic to have somebody guide you through this because it is like this giant sea of, marketing and social media and online presence. And, sometimes a small business, you just feel like you're in a little boat, in this
Yes.
big sea.
Yeah.
All right. So, Samantha, I have one more question before we get going.
Okay.
As a member of GBN, in your own words, why is referral marketing so important to your business? And why did you choose to be a member of GBN?
So, referral marketing is a huge part of business and my business because people that actually know me and have worked with me are the best people to refer. They know what it's like to work with me, they know my personality, and so they typically refer people that I'm going to jive with. That makes projects and serving clients so much easier. It also kind of helps that you're getting referrals from your best kind of clients, the people who enjoyed working with you, and most of their friends are also going to be those people. So it kind of is twofold, right? Business and people who know you, bringing you clients that you're just going to jive well with.
Yeah. And then the
Why
cycle
GBN?
continues, hopefully.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us, Samantha. It's been great talking with you. I learned a lot, and I'm sure our viewers did too, especially consistency, which is something I have to work on myself. But again, and everyone, thanks for watching today and for joining us. And remember, if it's Wednesday, it's GBN Live. So see you next week. Thanks.